We can't hear it. Nope.
A little bit.
We can't hear it. Nobody want to hear you.
Can you hear it now, people?
Wow, Trav.
Yes, people. Greetings, most honorable listeners and masters of the martial arts. I am Travis.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Big Los.
And this is CTE, and this is going to be an experience for y'all. And go green, all right? First things first, gentlemen, how was your week? How was it? How did you guys do this weekend? Anything exciting happen for you guys?
Week was good. I mean, my son is playing varsity football, so they won their first playoff game.
Nice.
40-22. So super proud of him. And they're going to the next round this weekend. So yeah, that was
Yo,
cool.
your son is huge.
Yo, he's
I
good.
know. Dude,
Oh, I meant to say
he's a
something
big
about that
boy.
last week.
He's a big boy.
That picture.
Yo, remember when he was in Philly?
yes.
Remember he played down in Philly with me, right? He was like, that was him. And now the dude is huge, man. He's ginormous.
Man, look, but I almost feel like it was like maybe not too long ago that you posted a picture of him and he wasn't that big.
No.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so when you posted again, I was like, who the hell is this grown ass? Man, said,
He's like my son. Like, your son. Your
you
what?
got another son that I don't know.
Yeah.
What happened?
Nah.
But
Dude
what?
is 6'4", man, and the doctor said he got more room to grow. He's only
But,
16.
But that's what I was about to go to. That's what happened to me. I was literally short and everything, and then all of a sudden, over the summer, my egg just started growing, and he had to go get his knee drained, right?
Not drained, but get it checked out though. So yeah, he was.
Yeah, I had to have it. My knee had a whole bunch of swelling. They had to drain it. They brought an 18 gauge needle out, stabbed me with it, and then sucked all the mucus or whatever it was out and the inflammation out. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I have no idea what's going on, but I just grew like over the summer. I was probably, I was about 16.
I grew a lot my junior to my senior year. So my junior year, I think I was probably like 5'7", 5'8", and then coming into my final senior year, I literally was like 6'1". Like I shot up. So I missed like all like the sports I wanted to play. So I missed like football. I was still short coming into the last year of football. Basketball still short. And then like the second half of that year, I was just like, it like happened overnight.
Yeah, I wish I had stuck with basketball, but if I had known I was going to have that growth spurt, I would have stuck with basketball and seeing how good I could have been or whatever. But it's like I'm too short. I'm all right. I'm just gonna stop.
That's why I put my post. Like I'm excited for my son that he actually is playing the varsity sports. So I didn't allow myself to because I was so short, and it was like the position I wanted to play. I played quarterback or guard. I didn't feel I was big enough because the people that were playing at the time were already taller than me.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So I told her, and my ego was like, I'm not going to just be a backup.
Exactly. 100%. I remember the coach's son came out, and then he came, and I was like, man, we already got like 4 people, and I was like, I'm not gonna get no burn on this JV team. So I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna focus on fighting.
You know what? When I fought, I was a starter.
Always. I started. Always. See, that's why I did. I listen. I was the opposite. I grew, and I stopped growing at this height in 7th grade.
Oh damn!
So like I shot up. It was like, man, I might be tall. No, not anymore.
Yo, Chris, how was your weekend though?
Man, my weekend was good. We did the trick or treating thing. So we spent time with the kids, some of the families from the dojo, and we did little block parties with them, and we got to go see a bunch of our families and mingle with our community. So that was super cool. And the kids had a blast trick or treating.
Do y'all hear an echo?
I do.
You hear an echo?
Yep.
Maybe it's. Oh, maybe it's this room or something. I don't know.
Hello? Hello?
There's still an echo.
Still
Yep.
an echo behind us.
Yep. Nope. I don't hear anymore.
I don't know. What'd you do, director? It's gone.
I turned my mic really low.
Oh, we can still hear you though.
All right.
Yeah, we can definitely hear you.
Can you? Was the echo going now?
Yes.
All right. Cool. All right. Well. Anyway.
Chris.
But no, that's it, man. We did the whole Halloween trick or treating thing, and that we had a good time.
Did you
Kids get
dress
a lot
up?
of candy?
I think I don't know. I didn't go through and confiscate it. They haven't really
So-
eaten any of it yet.
It's funny, like my kids, we went out for like an hour. We literally did like our street and then around the corner, and they were done. They were like, I'm good. And they kept saying, we got a lot of candy. We got a lot of candy. I'm sitting looking like, y'all ain't get a lot of candy. Like from what I'm used to filling up like pillowcases.
A whole pillowcase, right?
That's candy. Like they got
That's-
like a
that-
little
listen,
corner in the
that's a
bottom
lot
of the
of
bag. I'm like, that's a lot. Like, all right, I mean, that's good because it's good for the teeth and everything. But
Right. That makes the arguments easier.
exactly.
But yeah, no, ours, no. I'm with you. We had the whole pillowcase joint.
Word.
No, that's what y'all had.
Yeah, no, we did not this time. We were just talking about the kids saying that they got a bunch of candy, and we're like, nah, that's not really a bunch of candy. All three of my kids combined, maybe a third of a sack. I mean, so like,
Which is fine.
it's great. I'm grateful. And a lot of people don't give out like chewy candy anymore, and like the gummies and stuff. It's a lot more, chocolate and stuff. I'm like, that's even better.
Yeah. That's all. That's all we were talking about, Travis.
Yeah, man.
How was your week? Besides that,
I'm in Phoenix now.
Okay.
So that's cool. Some certain things, just seeing the desert and all the different cacti around here. But the biggest thing, people, is that Michigan State beat Michigan. Okay, it just is what it is. All right. I'm sorry if you people are mad or whatever, but I was sitting here in the hotel, and I didn't, because it came on at like 9 a.m. The game started out here. So I was sitting here first thing in the morning, just sitting here watching it, and I was like, man. Well, as I watched it, we were down 10, then we were up by 4, and then they came back and slapped us around for a little bit, and they were up 30-14. I was sitting here, and I literally was sitting here. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a post congratulating Michigan for winning this game. I was sitting here thinking that, like, man, I'm probably gonna have to make a post saying that they played well, they played better. It is what it is. Be a humble winner. And then I saw them start to come back, and I said, "Uh-oh."
Maybe not. Maybe not.
But yeah, I was like, I may not have to say that. Let me just sit here and just say how this plays out. And then we tied it up 30-30.
let me hold off for a little bit.
We tied it up 30-30. Actually, this is literally what happened. We went down 30-14. I was sitting here like, dang, I got up, and I looked down, and I saw my shorts were I had gray shorts on with some blue in it. I said, I'm not supposed to be wearing no damn blue. I took the damn shorts off, threw it, and that's when we started coming back. And I was like, yes. And so then once we tied it up, I was like, oh yeah.
So I looked down at my shorts and I had some blue on my shorts.
Yes.
So I had to take the shorts off, and that's why we started winning.
Yeah, we started coming back. We tied it up. And I thought to myself, I'm like, yo, this momentum in this game is crazy. I thought I was going to send a message out, and I said, no. If I do that, that might change the momentum of the game. So I can't say nothing. I got to sit here. And they scored a field goal. So they up 33-30. And I'm like, dang it. Just thinking about that made that momentum change.
Dang.
I was like, I'm going to have to say something. Like, it just is what it is. Next thing you know, we came back. We scored. We went up 37-33. And I literally did not say or anything, didn't think anything. I wasn't going on Facebook, nothing. I was just sitting here, didn't want to move. Once we won, I was screaming when we got that interception at the end of the game, and that I was just like, oh yeah, I'm so happy right now. Like, yeah, you can't tell me nothing. I wasn't gonna make a real big post about it. I'm like, yeah, we won. Thank you. I don't hear anybody talking anymore. Then
Everybody's quiet. Crickets.
But the best part about it, I went on Twitter and saw Avery's meltdown. that he was having.
Avery went to Michigan.
Yeah. Avery went to
okay.
Michigan. Evan went to Michigan. Morgan went to Michigan. My
Oh,
brother's a
wow.
Michigan fan. Like,
Yep.
so like I'm literally like the only person who really cheers for Michigan State in my family.
Gotcha. So that okay.
Yeah.
But he didn't put that in the public. He didn't put it on Facebook. He had it on Twitter.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I was cracking up. He was tweeting through the whole game. So I just started going back and reading his tweets and other people's tweets through Michigan and Michigan State. And I was just sitting there cracking up laughing at like how everybody just kept going back
The
and forth.
banner back and forth.
Yeah, I was just sitting there cracking up laughing. Yeah. But that was a good weekend as always. All right. So where we want to start? We'll start with WKC since that
WKC World Championship. But before we do that, we really got to jump off and let you know who we sponsored by.
Who we
As
sponsored
always,
by?
is the Virtual Fight Tour.
Oh, we sponsored by who?
Virtual Fight Tour coming up. Virtual Fight Tour 11
Ooh.
on the 20th
Mm-hmm.
of this month. Headline: James Corden, Robbie Lavoie, who we will get into in just a moment. Yeah. And then Team Benz versus Team Next Level, which is going to be super dope.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatchamacallit, Jerry Fontenez and Brad Crumb. Dig it. Don't mess with me, man. I had to remember. It took me a second.
Jerry Fontenez and Brian Crumb will be the rounding out. And
that was the co-main event, I believe.
Yeah, we have someone coming up. We got in 19 days the next Virtual Fight Tour.
Because we in November, baby.
We are. This is November 1st, man. I didn't realize how many people's birthdays today. Like, it's a lot of people I know.
Oh, yeah.
I had to send out some, birthday texts and stuff like that and wish people happy birthdays and everything. But, yeah, man. All right. Let's get into WKC real quick. This past weekend, Chris, did you pull up all the winners on there?
No,
Definitely didn't.
So I did take a screenshot of I'll say the male fighters.
Yes.
So I sent it to Willie yesterday so they can have it. I can't even tell you what divisions they won, but I can tell you who was in the finals.
All right. Who you got? I know Robbie and John.
Yeah, okay. Robbie was there, John was there, Bullet, he was there.
Oh, Mercado. Okay.
Yeah. Brian Rodriguez, Chris Gorm, Avery, and I'm not sure who the last person is here. Couldn't tell you.
Wasn't it Ronald? Didn't Ronald win gold? Or did Ronald? No, Ronald lost to Chris.
To Chris.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Actually, John Cortolo lost to Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that was
I thought that was a gold medal match.
Yeah, that was a gold medal match. Yeah. And somebody from Mexico. I have no idea because they didn't put a picture up of who this is.
Was it Oscar?
I don't.
No. Okay.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so in the women fighters, it was Morgan who won overall.
Yep.
Well, actually, yeah, we can go into men's also.
Okay.
While you find the women, if you can find them, I do know. In the Robbie, I would assume, man. So the feed kept going out for me when I was trying to watch some of the stuff. So
Yes.
It was.
So I ended up just
Yeah, I was kind of just waiting for a lot of it. I do know Chris and Robbie fought.
Yes. The semis, I believe.
Yeah. And also, and for the main match for the overall was Avery versus Chris.
Yes.
And Avery won that match. Morgan won overall. She beat Gemina for the overall title.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it was Robbie versus Mexico's Diego Rosales.
Yes.
That's who the first round. That's who's from Mexico who won. Diego Rosales, and Robbie beat him. Let's see. All right. So Lexi McGann Barclay from Canada. She won Women's Open Forms and Weapons Grand Champion. So congratulations to her. Ah, yes. Men's Open Forms and Weapons Grand Champion was Edgar
Cordova. Yeah. He medaled in obviously in all 6 of his divisions when he get like 3 golds and like
3 silver, I think.
no, he got a bronze. I know he got at least 1 bronze, but
Okay.
yeah, he medaled. He did really well, and he won overall. So,
she won Women's Traditional Forms and Weapons Grand Champion.
Yes.
The synchronized team forms and weapons was Team Guatemala. Cameron Kloss of the USA won Men's Traditional Forms and Weapons Grand Champion. And I believe
he's from Bill Viola School.
Yes. He is. I think he's on Team Revolution as well. But yeah, Bill Viola student.
I'm trying to see who these ladies are. It looks like Audrey won. Like she's in the finals. I can't see who she's fighting. Someone from Mexico. I'm not really sure who this is though. But yeah, so congratulations to everybody who fought at WKC. I think they had a good turnout.
We say 9 or 10 countries.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up because I remember seeing the actual medal count.
Okay.
They had a medal count here, and I think America had the most medals, and I think followed by Canada. Yeah, here it is. So America had 129 golds, 109 silver, and 103 bronze. Canada had 52, 51, and 51. Venezuela was third with 23, 11, and 23. Puerto Rico had 11, 14, and 21. Guatemala had 26 gold, 18 silver, and 8 bronze. Mexico had 14, 11, and 5. Uruguay had 1 silver and 1 bronze. Argentina had 3 gold. The Dominican Republic had 1 bronze, and Ecuador did not. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 countries represented, all from the Western Hemisphere.
All from the so it would be like a Pan American, but
yeah,
that's cool though.
Mm-hmm.
South Central and North America.
Yep. So all of that. So congratulations to everybody there who competed at the WKC World. I think next year it'll probably be more worldly going back to it because I think some people just didn't have I don't think Europe was open for the majority of the year to be able to come over. So usually they do when we get a lot of different people over from there. So all right. Anything else on the WKC World Championships?
Nah, you tried. You had more of the info than I had.
Yeah, I had to pull it up real quick, as close as I could for it. But all right. So with that being said, where do we want to go next with this? Oh no, Los, you had a question about the WKC.
Yeah, I just wondered. My question was, where is it at as it's trying to rank in the world as a world championship, right? WACA has always kind of been the cream of the crop of what you're trying to do as far as that level of world championship stuff. So where does it fall? Like where like WKA was, WKU, WKC, WKCC? Like where does it fall in that category? Where do you feel it's progressed to?
I think it's progressed to being right behind WACO. What's interesting about WKC is the amount of competitors from the standpoint of amount of countries that are on this side. So Canada and US, of course, are the largest two countries. But to get Uruguay and Mexico and Argentina, all these, and there's years they've had Brazil there. They really have a strong hold over here in the Western
Hemisphere.
So all of the Americas, all right. So I believe I'm not gonna say they've gotten bigger than WKA ever was. I'm not gonna say that much because I think in the 80s and 70s, WKA was pretty large, right? So but I think they have progressed to a point where they are, in some ways, WKC is bigger than Waco in the Americas, right? When you look at the events that they have, that are trials, the national championships, and for Canada as well as America, they're pretty large. But when you look at the Waco trials, right, you get more people who are competing over in WKC than you do at the Waco trials. Now that could be just, I mean,
you mean in the U.S.
There's a lot of
in
the U.S. Just,
but I think,
but you're saying on the world level, representation wise, WKC has a wider span of U.S. representation.
The Americas.
Of the Americas, okay.
Right? I don't, but it's also by design.
I was going to say we allow more. WKC allows more four per division for country, rather where Waco is one.
Right, but even that,
so you're gonna have a better networking there anyway.
Well, honestly, you don't have as many people trying to compete.
Get there, right. Well, there's also like you said, there's not as wide of a net.
Right, but
like I think WKC has regional qualifiers in a bunch of different places that bring you into the national qualifier that seed you into to positioning yourself. Yeah.
I think the design of Waco I'm not gonna say has always been, even though there have been tryouts, it always felt still exclusive who was supposed to compete. Like even when back in the 90s, about who was actually trying out
tryouts
at the Waco. It was up in New England. It was almost like, you just pretty much know it's going to be mostly Paul Mitchell people, and you're gonna have to find a way through one of them in order to get on that.
To get on the squad.
Yeah. And some certain people did it and got through and did all that stuff, but it was always interesting to me that more people didn't go out and try and fight for that. But with WKC, I think they've done a great job of being inclusive to a lot of different areas and really getting out and promoting in a certain way that it doesn't feel like it's just one person making the decision or one group making the quote unquote call on who's the team or whatever the case may be. Now, when it comes to Europe, there is no question who's king and queen and master and head of the household. That is lock, stock, and barrel. And I think a part of it is because Waco is an organization and they have events.
Well, yeah,
a year that are Waco sanctioned events. You know what I mean?
World Cup events, yes.
Right. And so WKC is doing the same thing, similar, but it's just regional events, quote unquote.
Right.
Pandemic. So I think
linking themselves with the different tournaments and
that's why I think that WKC right now is probably the largest one over in the Americas because of how they ingratiated all the different regions and different promoters and made them feel a part of it. So now whether or not is I'm not saying which one is the more prestigious or who has the better fighters, because you can make an argument of a lot of different things on that one, but it is what it is with that one.
Right.
But it is interesting, and I'm curious to see how it's going to go. I want to see how this progresses. How big can it get? How can it eventually? Because I think Waco is trying to get their foothold in America for a while now, and really establish a foothold over here. And I think WKC is doing the same thing of trying to really take some away from Waco or whatever the case may be over there. So there, there's been some you can't fight over there if you fight here. You can't fight here if you fight over on that circuit. So it's been some interesting things that have been going on behind the scenes. So it's been
WKC is what, 10 years in, 12 years in? I think 12 years. I think it was 12 years ago I went to.
I want to say around whenever they first broke off from WKA, right? So they were a part of WKA for a while, and then they had disagreements and they split into WKA.
I think I went to Spain. I went to Spain 10 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago.
Yeah, but they've been around.
I think it was like a year before that or 2 years before that, because I think it was in Austria the year before or something of that nature.
Like 2009, I think might have been their first year. I think it's been 13 years, 12, 13 years. But it's been around something like that now. Yeah. And so a lot of different ones. I think WKC split again. That's where WKKC.
Yeah. That, where does the WKU came from? Is that what they changed?
WKU split off from WKA. Like WKA had another split, which was WKU came from out of there. So yeah, it's just all these splinters from other organizations. And I think from the very beginning, I can't remember if it was WKA split from Waco or Waco split from WKA, but I think that's what happened originally also back in like the 70s or 70s, I think. There was a split with them too. So all of these organizations used to be under one banner, and they all just kept splitting. But yeah. All righty. All right. So
WKC, they're pretty up there, and they do have a good representation here.
Mm-hmm. So now we want to go to the posts, or do we want to go to some of these topics that we had?
Los, I'm gonna let you guide that one.
Actually, Los, we were talking before the show, and somebody mentioned that you didn't have much to say about the Elijah and Bailey topic, or Elijah being the best in the world topic, I guess. But you had something you wanted to present, and I wanted.
Yeah, I believe on the pod that we did last week, we were arguing over if Elijah is the best in the world because of what happened in 2019 or 2020, whatever. I think it was 2019, right? Was kind of
20 and 21, but yeah.
No, but he lost to Zane then, right?
That was
19, right?
Yeah.
So 2020 was kind of low for everybody. So my point was we were talking about, the best in the world, who's the best in the world. And I was in my mind when I was saying Elijah, I was saying from the standpoint of right now at this moment, right? In 2021, as in the calendar year, who was the best, right? Bailey was ideally the best over here because he was winning everything over here. No matter who was coming out, who was showing up, it didn't matter. The fact that he was there and he was winning it made him the best in the U.S. And from my understanding, Elijah was winning everything over in Europe. So when you have the best in the U.S. and the best in Europe, and they come together at that point, if Elijah wins that match between the two of them, to me, for 2021, Elijah would have been classified or I would have said Elijah was the best in the world at that moment. Doesn't mean he's the best in the world going into 2022 because it's going to be a whole different round of fighting, a whole different round of tournaments, a whole different round of everything, right? For both of them. But from the way the conversation was going, again, I didn't really get into it because you guys were kind of in your space. I wanted to give y'all space of what y'all was debating back and forth. It was great, Travis, because you were wrong. It was a beautiful watching that. But that was my thing. That was more what I was saying. I wasn't thinking about 2019. I was thinking about 2020. I was thinking about 2018. It was more of like when we're talking about right now, 2021. Bailey pretty much won just about everything over here. And Elijah won everything over there. So if Europe and the U.S. are like the mecca of sport martial arts per se, right? You have South America that has some good fighters and things like that. But if those two areas are supposed to be the mecca of the sport, and those two areas or those two countries or sides or whatever you want to parts of the world collide and come together, whoever wins that match is the best in the world at that time. That was my takeaway from it. Go.
So I understand exactly what you're saying, and I would agree with you with one exception, right? Is that I would put Elijah as the best in the world under that rule set.
That's just like any
Right.
NBA champion. That's just like any
But no,
any
I'm about to
sport.
say- but what I'm about to say is that FIBA rules are different than the NBA rules, right?
Mhm.
So it's a little different when you can take the ball off the rim and it's not be goaltending. So there are differences that will be a little bit different. And if the NBA, you drop some of these NBA teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, and they had to play whatever FIBA teams, they may lose to them, right? Because
Or they may win, and then
they may win. Exactly, that's what
But
I'm saying.
if that was
They
the
may
case and
win.
how it was set up, though, I
Right.
agree with you saying. If that was the case and how it's set up, at that point, whoever won that
But
would be the
if-
best in the world.
Right.
Right.
But would you think that FIBA team could come to America, to the NBA, and win under the NBA's rules? That's my whole point about it. Was that I understand 100% what you guys are saying. I agree. I get that. But in order for me to say that, now if you're saying that he had the best year, then you go into who's accomplished the most types of things throughout the year. So it's kind of hard with these different metrics, right?
Yeah.
That's my whole thing was about it. It's like in order for me to say you're the best in the world, I want to see you fighting under different rule sets before I say.
But the NBA players don't play under different rules, and they're
I know.
considered
I mean,
the NBA
to me,
world
the
champions.
NBA champions, not necessarily world champions.
Right.
To me, that's what that's symbolized. That team is the NBA champion, not necessarily the world champion. The world champion would be the person who goes to a team that actually plays under a universal world set, a universal world.
And where is that at?
That's usually, unfortunately, no team ever plays that. They only play the world championships by country. They don't play by actual teams like the Milwaukee Bucks or whoever. It just is what it is. So, but I understand exactly what you guys are saying with it.
I said it. Chris didn't say it.
Okay, which you said, yeah.
I said it.
I understand what
This is my moment, Travis. Don't take my moment away from me.
Chris didn't say nothing. I was being
Travis,
quiet, letting Travis. letting
I
Los
listen
talk.
to what you're saying, Travis. I'm hearing what you're saying, but you know what, Travis?
I'm right.
Wrong.
Thank you.
You're wrong, Travis.
You know what? I'm gonna get that on, put it on the t-shirt. Travis, you're wrong. You're wrong. But yeah,
No, that was my assessment, how I was looking at it. Again, but you know what you're saying. Again, you could do NBA, you could do football, you could do any of the things that consider themselves the world champion, but don't really play in the other arena, right?
correct. Like NBL.
That's anything though.
No, I'm just saying, like NASCAR or NBL, when they only under one set, and they're saying they're the world champion, and it's like, but you didn't go against the world. But it is what it is.
That's
I don't care.
You know
I fought people from different countries for my world championship. I don't know about you, but I know I fought a person from France, and they were from all over.
I fought people from Canada.
That's not the same. I fought people from Ireland.
I fought people from Canada. My world title, yeah, but my world titles. But anyway,
he says.
All right. All right. So let's get into one of these topics. All right. I want to get into this one particular topic right off the bat because I asked a question a long time ago, a couple weeks ago, when we right at the Diamonds, we said they implemented the body shot, right? The lead hand to the body.
Right.
And I said, I don't understand why they did it.
Nope.
But then it came to me one day of why they actually did it.
Okay. Talk to
And
me.
I think it is because it is a reaction to Waco getting IOC recognition. I think that they implemented. So I'm not gonna say that I don't know. It's all speculating, people. So don't say, oh, Travis thought. I'm like, yeah, I said it, but I'm saying this is speculation.
Right.
That maybe they're thinking that if we implement this portion of it, we can get recognition from IOC or something to that effect, some way of having similar rule sets that that Waco has, that maybe we can get some kind of recognition saying that we're doing the same exact thing, and NASCAR could get IOC recognition. Not saying that that's what they're doing, or that they can possibly have some kind of a because NASCAR and Waco have always had like this weird, hey, we're buddies, we're cousins, we're friends. Let's have this a little back and forth world championship, world respective league for some of our events, like the U.S. Open. I think they did Diamonds one year, Irish Open, and something else. They were trying to have like this weird, I mean not weird, but this intermingling of leagues, and I think that has something to do with it. They may be looking at that of making it more international friendly, so
Right.
they get international
Competitors and
IOC, getting to
more.
the IOC, having some of them might be IOC sanctioned events or something like that in the future. I'm not really 100% sure, but that just seems like that might be a reason why they're doing it. They're starting to implement that, because otherwise I don't understand why they would do it when nobody over here wanted it.
I think they should have probably started with bigger rings, getting people off the actual area of the competition's going. They're starting to put people in kind of uniforms and stuff, but making the rules kind of as much as possible uniform as possible, ring to ring from everybody. But that's, I guess, a body jab is a place to start. Good start.
I mean, two rounds, or
2 rounds.
A million.
2 rounds would be nice.
Two rounds would be nice.
That changes a lot of things when you have 2 rounds
Per fight.
Per
fight. Every fight.
It's not
or
just
10
rounds.
spread. 2 or 10.
2 round fights. I one of the things I don't like the spread thing.
I know. We talked about this.
I know. I'm just saying. I just don't like the spread thing. It's professionalized, then why are we spreading? Like, you just getting your butt whooped. Don't get in the ring if you can't. If you're not on this level. Go be somewhere else until you're up here.
If you're a casual, don't get in the ring.
Yeah, don't get in the ring if you're not. Because whatever, man. No. I guess, but then you're losing money and
right. But that's why they was trying.
The ones that don't belong there is the ones that actually where you're making money at.
Right. You're almost donating.
Not
it's almost like you're donating.
I don't want to say no one doesn't belong there. Like, anybody that wants to come out and compete, but those are the ones that's where you're making your money at. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry. I can't just pick up and go play on the PGA Tour.
What?
I can't just pick up and go play on the PGA Tour.
You can't.
You got to earn your right to get there.
Yeah.
Can't get on the WTA. You can't do it. You have to earn your way there.
Travis, it ain't that serious.
It should be.
That's why we don't have an IOC or WC or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's right. That's why. That is exactly why. Because
the game changers.
Well, they're not organized enough, which goes into my second topic that I want to talk about, is that NASCAR Waco was so much more organized, and that is the reason why they are in the IOC. They have seeing somebody get leveled up in their judging, people are watching them judge in order to get to the next level of judging, and you have to go take tests and you have to get certified and you have to go through all these levels, and they're paying these people to judge, and their whole purpose of being there is to judge and not coach somebody, not to compete at the event, but they're there strictly to judge. That is their purpose there, and that level, and then reviewing how good of a job the judges did. They have a union of people watching them saying, hey, look, they did this was wrong, you did this wrong, you did this right, you did this good, boom, boom, boom. You had a 90% rate of calls that were correct, or whatever it is that they're using as their metrics. That type of thing shows that you are taking this seriously, which then leads into a more organized and better thing. Like, but we're just so rebel. We're looking at how much money can I get? How can I actually get as much money and invest that money into a stage that nobody wants to fight on because they don't feel like falling off the stage.
Chris, you did a lot of international fighting. Do you see that the money is what drives them, or is it the competition that drives them, as far as promoters and things like that over there? Obviously, money is important, right? So I get that part.
You gotta make your money back, but it's honestly, it's really not like the most important thing. I mean, you look at Roy, and I know Roy's an exception, Roy Baker from the Irish Open. He doesn't keep any money from the tournament. It all goes to charity, children's charity in Ireland. So, like, you know, he doesn't go after profit. So he does it because he loves the sport. And you kind of see that a little bit more from my perception. You see that the Europeans really love it. They embrace it. But it's a cultural thing. Like when they're world champions, when a lot of these countries, when they come back as a world champion in any one of our leagues, they're heroes in their country. They get to skip out on the military. They don't have to go back to service. They get a house. They get money. Like, so it's a big deal. It's not the pastime that we do. So with that, knowing that
for us, it's our hobby.
It's just fun for us. Some people, like, you know, they're working towards X, Y, or Z, but for the majority of martial artists who are competitive, it's a hobby for us. Yeah, it's fun. We do get competitive and we do want to be the best, but at the end of the day, when we go home, we tell our friends, and our friends are like, "Yeah, man, that's cool." And unless they're martial artists with us, that's about the extent of it. These other countries, they're going home and they're again getting houses and cars, and they're getting set up, and they don't have to go back to X, you know, whatever. So, I mean, with that, they obviously do it because they love what they do.
You know somebody that got a house or a car?
Guy from Turkey who beat me.
You got a car?
I lost. He got a house and 100,000, basically 100,000 of their dollars, and a house, because he won't come back as a world champion.
Wow.
I almost was like, my guy, you should have told me that before the fight. I wouldn't have fought so hard. We would just like kicked it and I'd let you win. Like, I'm going to go home and get a medal, and whether it's gold or silver, like, you know, people are going to be like, a couple people in my dojo are going to be like, high five, awesome. All right, let's get back to training.
But we're going to get a high five and say, hey, all right, we're going to get something to drink at the bar over here.
Right. This guy's like, thank you. Oh my goodness. And like, all right. But yeah, and the registration fees aren't that much. I mean, when we started going over to the Irish Open, it was like 35 euros. And then a second division was like 10 euros.
Let me ask you this.
I'm sure it's like 50 euro now, maybe 50, 60 euro. I haven't, maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't register too often.
Let me ask you this, Chris and Los. I'm just curious. When we were younger, the entry fee was probably like $35, $40.
For all three events.
Yeah. Now they're like $75, $80.
25 per division extra.
So where's the money going?
To the venues and the awards.
I'm just curious about that.
That's what I'm supposed to say, right?
I don't know. Honestly,
I mean, I've been saying it for forever, and they still don't want to take the extra money and let fighters do extra divisions.
I'm just curious as to where that breakdown goes. I'm not talking about every event. I'm just saying, where is the money actually going?
Well, when you look at, I mean,
not cost savvy enough? Are you spending money on things that are unnecessarily gaudy in order to when most people don't really care?
Right. I don't, you know, but you got like NASCA minimums, right? So like even the NASCA minimums, with the exception of everything except for open weight and teams, you pretty much have set, you know, 500 for this, 500 for this. Well, now it's 500. It used to be 1,000, X per division and whatever. So they had X amount of money they had to spend. Yes. So that's typically where that was mostly justified. Between that, venue, and awards, those are typically the three that you're going to hear promoters say cost.
Well, I'm looking at it from the standpoint they have to give out what, $20,000, something like that, 15, 10,
something like that. I don't remember the breakdowns before pre-COVID, but post-COVID, it's whatever it is, half divided.
Yeah, by. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint, just as a pure cost of the breakdown of it. Of okay, if you have to give that money away, how many people are you getting in? If you're only getting 500 or whatever the case may be, and then probably some of those people are doing 2 or 3 divisions. So let's say everybody's doing 2 divisions, so that means you're getting what, $100 per person. I mean, that's
135, somewhere around there, 125, 130.
Yeah, $125, $130. So where is like? It seems like there's something here that's just not adding up when it comes to money, venues, and I'm not saying that they're skimping. I'm saying that something here on the cost of running an event is inefficient.
Whether I'm gonna say when I ran my event, it was an expensive endeavor as far as just the venue, the trophies, the awards, and what we gave away as far as the money. I probably, and again, this wasn't me being big in either. Right? This is just kind of like running the state SKI that I did here. I probably netted profit of like $3,000.
Right.
So when I was done, I was like, this ain't worth it to me. You get what I'm saying? I mean, as far as much time I took me in to do it, promoting, going to events and things like that, to go through all that and to only net maybe I think it was like $3,000 to $4,000. Like it was not. I was kind of like, nah. So for me, so when I see these big events and these big hotels, these conferences, and these, I'm looking like, all right, they had to pay a little something for this because,
correct.
I know what
my point. Like, I know that I'm not saying that they're just profiting all this money. Yeah. I'm saying something isn't adding up. What is it? Because personally, I don't want to have to work go to a hotel and fight. Like, I'm fine with fighting in the gym.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't mind that. Like that's cool to me. But I'm just curious as to why. I mean, what is actually happening here as far as the amount of money and stuff like that? Like something isn't adding up as far as the cost of it. And it's probably just I think it comes down to this is the way we started doing it.
Yep.
And we want to always keep this look and feel to it, even though it's not the most efficient thing to do. Because like if you stop and think about it, you got a hotel and you got 4 different rooms running this event. And now you're a person who has a junior black belt, and they're in this ring. They got you got these underbelts there in the other room, downstairs in the corner, and trying to keep up, running back and forth. Somebody might want you to coach them over here. You're trying to judge up. It just doesn't seem like the most efficient place to have an event like that. So the question that begins, like, where else could we go? What other type of event venues could they target outside of a small gym? Or a high school gym or a college gym and a hotel room. Hotel lobby. Like, what other venues could we actually start looking at doing?
Honestly, just big gyms. It's kind of where I see it being best. Trying to let people find their own rooms and stuff, and find bigger gyms. I don't know if there's too many like venues that you could rent, the convention centers or places like that, other than hotels that you can't
cost more. You did
right. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, unless you do like a big gymnasium, these banquet halls or hotels, and that's kind of why it worked out. I think you'll see people who do them like that get breaks on the venue, or what I mean. They work with you. If you sell so many rooms, then we won't charge you for this day or whatever. Whatever. There's kickbacks, I'm sure, and all of that. So that's kind of why it's like I don't know what is necessarily the most expensive thing. I've never run an event, so I don't even know real room to talk. Right. Listen, I thought about doing one, hosting a little fighting only tournament in my school, inviting like, 10, 12 schools in to hang out. But other than that, I don't know. It's a lot of work. Seems like a lot of work and a lot of time and effort and energy and money for something that might not yield you a whole lot.
Correct. So
for us, a lot of us, it goes back to your original thing, Trev. For us that are at the smaller level, it's probably more about love than it is for profit.
Yeah, that's where that's where I think we're coming back to it. Like the promoters are doing it. Some of them are.
I'm sure some of them make good money, and I'm sure some of them do it because they really, really love it.
I do remember saying like hearing some certain things about like Kumite that they they cleared like they because they not really had that.
He had all the other stuff though.
Yeah, he had all the other stuff that went along.
He was real smart. He had the other stuff. Like you know what I mean, like
other stuff that was along with it.
I had many conversations about that. Like, I'm not going there, Bill.
I can only imagine the U.S. Open has something because they have a lot of sponsorships going on with this, so I can see them making money off of this thing. Yeah. So it's like, okay, but to see certain events, I'm like, yo, I can't see certain big national events that aren't that big. I can see them struggling to turn a profit. So it comes down to passion, I guess. So back to the original point. All right, let's move on to yes, technically the last thing we can talk about. Hey, Saturday morning I sent y'all some texts.
I had seen it already.
Screenshots.
I had already seen it though.
Yeah, I was laughing to myself. I was like, yo, he going off right now. If you didn't catch it, Tyreek was had some things to say. I never thought he was talking to me or us, so everything was cool. I just found some of it kind of funny. All right. I don't really. And if y'all want, go to his page. I think he still has all this stuff up there. So,
of course, I believe that.
But I just thought some of it was funny. I just kind of just laughed at it. I know that he posted like a clip from us saying about we were me and Chris
arguing.
Yeah, and
bantering.
Yeah, there you go, bantering. And so because of that, I think he just. I mean, it just worked. What were y'all thoughts when y'all saw it?
I had questions.
At first, I didn't know what it was. I was confused as to what it was about, where it was coming from. But then I went back and saw the rest of the stuff that you were putting up. I don't know. I guess I still don't understand what triggered that. I don't know, say onslaught, but that
I have no idea.
What triggered what made him go in with all the posts? Like, what was it that he heard, that he saw, that something that just kind of a lot of things just probably just irked him, or there was conversations that was being had and he just kind of he was the one that put it out there. I just wonder what triggered it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right? I mean, I don't follow. I'm not friends with him on Facebook, so I'm not really sure what his pattern normally is. So I can't really speak too much on it.
Chris?
I just had questions. I was just curious. I was like,
what were you curious about?
No, my biggest curious thing was when he put our clip up and he was like, "This is my favorite part of the show, and it should be a TikTok." And I was like, "What part? Like, what is it? The banter? Is it the point? Is it the sides? Like, what is it? I'm curious." So, but I mean, I don't really. It is what it is. Like, I figured it's probably just the banter back and forth between me and Trav, because we kind of were like, I get this, and this, and Travis like, but I don't see it. I was like, well, you're wrong. And I'm like,
I would say for me, it was actually really entertaining to watch you guys. I like it. You guys were like, you were hilarious. Like, to me, it was a hilarious podcast. I didn't really have much to say,
right?
But you two were actually really, really funny. Like, that was just sitting
Plus,
here.
When I saw it, I was like, yo, I don't know what Alex did to him.
Right.
What irritated him.
Right. I want to know, like, did he listen to like a past show, like for the and just like if you
here's one thing I am gonna say, and I know the guys listen to it, so whatever. I watched the Elijah video. I thought it was first. I want to give Elijah a shout out because he did talk about the incidents with Enrique, and he said how he knew he was wrong and he shouldn't have went to that level. Like, you mean, it is what it is, but he wished he didn't do that. So that was really cool to hear him say that. But just listening to Alex talk to Elijah, like, it was like he was giving him all these kudos, But then he said Zolt was trash when Zolt kind of did some of the same things that Elijah is doing now, but during Zolt's era when Zolt was over in Europe.
Right.
And then when Zolt came to the U.S., Zolt was actually successful here too, right? So I was kind of, it threw me off a little bit. I didn't understand like how you could say one person is overrated,
And then
who pretty much did the same thing that Elijah's doing now, just in a different time and different era, right? And in a different way, in a different style, right? Which isn't even your style of fighting anyway. Like you were never a puncher. Like you were a kicker. So I don't understand like how you would not even give somebody that's actually a kicker and the level that he kicked a little more kudos.
Right.
So on that, I could see how it's kind of like, all right, but I mean, I don't know where Tyreek was coming in on that part, but for me personally, when I saw the interview and I heard the interview of the Zolt thing and how that kind of went, I was a little. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. I have my own. I'm good. Next.
Trav.
What were my thoughts on it? I thought it was hilarious. I mean,
Yes.
At the end of the day, I thought it was hilarious. I was sitting there like, yo, this is just hilarious. This dude is funny. Maybe I should give him a podcast.
Right.
let him go. But I want him to focus, I want him to focus on fighting and everything. But maybe might give him something. But one thing that I did want to, he did say that I want to. No, not
Which
that
one?
one. Hold on. Which where is it at? Nope, not that one. Not that one. Where is it? Oh, who thought?
Oh yeah, I know. I already could have told you that one.
He said, "Who thought putting a Z-list fighter and a formed dude on a podcast to talk about what fighters need to do to win was a good idea?" So, me, it worked because people talk about it. Like it's just interesting to me because originally the whole thing I was going to have. Not saying that. Let me stop here. Not saying that Alex was a Z-list and put him down to a Z-list fighter, but I mean, what I will say is, when I saw Alex, I was looking for another. I was thinking about having another show because I never wanted this just to be one show. I wanted it to be multiple shows. This network. But yeah, so when I saw some of Alex's posts, I was like, "Yo, this dude talks." His thought process is not like anything I've ever seen before. I was like, I think he would be good, and I thought about him and somebody else for the podcast, and because they were both in Chicago, I was like, all right, I'm gonna put both of these two people together. They're both in Chicago. They'd be right next to each other. We don't have to do like a whole bunch of internet stuff. It might be blah blah. Excuse me. And it would be similar to me and Chris. It would sound better because me and Chris were next to each other, and it sounds better when they're next to each other. It makes it sound a lot better. So I was thinking about that, and then I started talking about Jeff. Jeff wanted to. Jeff and I were going back and forth, and I wanted to give Jeff a show, but I was like, wow, I don't want Jeff to be by himself. Who could I put him with? And
I know.
Yeah, I just like, you know what? I think him and Alex, because Alex talks about forms a lot. He's not, so I'm like, and he's done forms before. So I think I was thinking they were going to do a forms podcast, to be honest with you. I thought that they may tailor more towards the forms because that was their specialty. That's Jeff's specialty, but he also knows the history of the sport. So I thought also it would become a lot of history plus some form stuff in there, and it won't be the same topics that me and Chris would talk about. And Jeff was like, all right, but I don't want to just talk forms. I want to be able to talk about everything. I said, all right, cool. Go. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to talk about, go at it. Look, I don't all the podcasts we have here, I want them to be themselves. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm not gonna squash your creativity or what you want to talk about. Your opinion is your opinion. I'll back you up for your right to say it. I may not agree with it. I will back your opinion and say it as long as you're not stepping out here saying something wild. Like, F all black people or something like that. Then I'm like, all right, look, dude, I can't I can't
Can't condone you. I can't condone you.
I can't work with you, bro. But other than that, if you think somebody's overrated, all right, but it is what it is. So,
Yes.
but that's the only reason why I know why they did it. Hey, why they talk fighting? Jeff's knowledgeable about fighters. He's been around people all.
Jeff actually got in the ring and was scrap a little bit too. So it wasn't like he wasn't someone that didn't fight. Like, I mean, he probably wasn't the person out there winning all the time, but he put his gear on and get out there.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say about that. If y'all got any more y'all want to say about that particular portion of it. But
so you were the one that chose to put those guys on in the podcast, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Correct.
Who thought it was a good idea? It was you.
Trav did.
Okay.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Well, other people must
like
agree with it because they listen to it, they follow him.
Right.
Yeah,
And
they have a large following, which is funny to me. I'm like,
people respond to it,
yeah.
whether you agree or disagree with who put them on.
Or that they're even on, or what they're talking about, or their opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I spoke with Ty. There's no hard feelings toward us. He has no beef with us. So I have no beef with him, man. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I can't expect us to give our opinion on things and then people not have opinions on our opinions.
Of course, you can't.
You know what I mean? Like, so if somebody's critical about us or what we do, okay. As long as
I'm all for it, though. If you got a problem with me, talk to me.
Come holler at me. Yes.
Like, speak to me. Like, you ain't got to do it. Like, you just nodding your head. Yeah, well, however you want to do it.
Well, no, but I mean,
like you said, it's funny.
No, I'm saying, like, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of, yeah, but we're doing a podcast. We don't have problems with people, but we're not directly speaking to people. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
True.
Like, we're not calling them and saying, hey, you need to be a better fighter, this, that, and that. We're just saying, hey. So if they are going to criticize us the same way or similar way by putting it out there in the world, go ahead. I mean, this is going to make people want to hear our response. So I don't care.
Sweet.
Is Alex going to respond?
If he wants to. I can't imagine.
You already know
Alex
man.
Alex not responding or saying something to this.
He'll mention it. He might not take it harsh or be bad about it, but he'll definitely mention it.
Probably say something. I mean, I just can't imagine Alex not saying anything, especially when Ty said his name. He said it.
Yes.
So like, I anticipate Alex will probably say something on Wednesday night. Is what it
Tune
is.
in.
Yeah, tune in. Yeah. Matter of fact, yes, Alex will probably say something. People, go ahead and make sure you guys tune in 9:00 on Wednesday.
Yup.
And see his response. If he doesn't, well, you got a good show. All right, we got anything else to talk about, man?
No.
I hope the Lions lose every game this year.
They will. They started yesterday.
They're 0-7, 0-8, whatever it is. Yeah, lose every game, man. Just
let it go.
Commit. Full 100% commit to it. Y'all are. I found something very interesting that they went 0-16 in 2008.
Yep.
2009 they drafted Matt Stafford. 2021 they trade him, and now it looks like they might go 0-17. Full circle, people. Full circle.
Perfect.
Yeah, just full circle. And yeah, look, they shouldn't have got rid of our the coach that was mediocre. He was winning. He was 9-7, he was 11-5, 7-9, 9-7, 9-7. And y'all were complaining after the first season. Y'all were complaining.
It's crazy. They talking about trying to get rid of Tomlin. It's like,
yeah.
how do you get rid of Tomlin? Like, that's yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're not gonna go into all the reasons. Problematic people. If you can't put 2 and 2 together, and but it's just pathetic. All right.
Are we done?
Yeah, we are done. We're gonna get out of here, and
that was an hour.
Hey,
I didn't know we had an hour in us today.
And
I didn't either. That came and gone quick.
Yeah. Well, Gene and Joe enjoy the MSU fight song, and yeah. We'll see y'all next week.